Yello, and welcome to episode 17 of my IXION playthrough. So we have been busy. Where are we? Since last night? Last night? No. Since last episode. My resource ships have been out and they've collected the majority of the stuff. There's still a lot of ferrite out here. A little bit of carbon. They're getting through the ferrite fairly quickly. And there's a decent... well, there's too much ice out and about at the minute. Because we were collecting population, we've also expanded our farm a little bit. This little mess up here is just me measuring it's like how I could move this up here, because I kind of want to have two farms. So what I might do is disassemble all of these and then put two farms up here. The problem is that this is 6 long and this is 12 high, and the entry and exit points are on these edges. So I would have to think of a different way of doing it. But since these can only have 9, there's 3 spaces here and then 3 spaces here. So there's room enough to do it. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, we could get 2 in here. But it would leave us with some space left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we may end up doing that today. I haven't constructed anything extra over here, I don't think. Although, since we are now starting to get an overabundance of materials, we may start constructing the rest of it, or get the rest of the housing up over here. We don't need it currently, but that's the plan. And we've also been very steadily making our way down this tree. Obviously the plan is to get to high-risk experimentation field so that we can grab computing optimization to maximize our science output. There's so much stuff in here that I would like to grab before we leave. Probably chief among which would be like upgrades to farms, upgrade to the metal, upgrades to the crew quarters. Would be really nice to grab. Oh, we can research tier 2 batteries, but we don't know how big they are. It would be nice if it told us this. Anyway, let's unpause and assess our situation here. This thing is now mining ice, so that being the case, we'll set that as high priority, and once it's done there, it should redirect it here. We don't need to be picking the ice up yet, but... oh, that was one thing that we ended up having to do. We had a food, not production problem, a food delivery problem. This sector just wasn't getting food delivered to it, and so they ended up starting to starve. We've since fixed that problem. What I could use... can I have you set as metal? I think import into this area is, for alloys, is only 80. Let's turn that stockpile on. And let's start making space for our full-size farm. I don't know whether or not I'm going to convert this yet. It is currently producing more than enough water that we're using. It's mostly just whined about the fact that the storage is full. Let's turn that on as well. We have ice here. Worker populations are low. We do need to construct that. I think we've reached our polymer limit. We have. Let's get that retractable arm constructed as well. Okay, all the silicon's been used, so we no need to have that on anymore. There's still a little bit of carbon out there to be picked up, isn't there? Yeah, we'll be slowly getting that in. Another thing that I kind of want to get researched before we do anything else is, where is it? I want to get this one and this one researched. Heat recovery solar panels. So yeah, there's a lot of research I would like to just get done before I use the building, just to preserve resources. Okay, let's pause for a moment just while I figure this out. So that's the space we need for the farms. Because the farms are 4x4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can get 9 in there nicely. If I was to... this would be 6 long, wouldn't it? If I was to do that... then we would have this spot here for another building. Or I could just leave this spot here and have the second farm here. So there'll be a slight misalignment here whereby there's just a gap and there's not much I can do about that. But then that would allow me to have the second farm here, just one over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that one too many? No, that counted. I think that's about right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spare. Don't we have? We do. And yes, this is a wall structure. That's not going to be enough, but we could move some of these farms over and down a bit. If it was... God damn it. Where did it end? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can't put one of these over here then, because we wouldn't have the space. Is there another way I could do this? That's 6 by 6, which means I can't just then put the farms behind it. We could fold them on its side. That's still going to be 6 tall. That's still going to leave us with too much space there. And that's going to leave us with 1 space there. How can I get the most optimum out of this? And still have space for something else. I think potentially our best resort is going to be a mushroom wall here. We can rotate these around. We'll have to get the research that increases their... what's it called? We'll have to get the research that increases the... whatchamacallit of these. Words are hard. What am I thinking of? population that can be held inside them. We would have to get the research that increases the population that can be held inside them first. Then we can disassemble this, rotate it round, put this one here. In fact, no, we have the spare population. We can just rotate these around and then put one of those tall ones up here. That is 2 out from the wall and 8 across. And that's 4 out from the wall, damn it. I was kind of hoping they would be the same level. They're not. Converts 9 waste into, or converts 6 waste into 9 food after 3 cycles using specifically designated fungus. Collecting waste makes people unhappy for unknown reasons. Let's recycle. Everybody hates recycling. I guess it's more that they don't want to see waste being stockpiled. But yeah, look, buildings produce more waste. It makes sense to use it. We could always increase the amount of food we're given in this sector as well. Anyway, let's stop worrying about making perfect use. And just get... Can we build the individual fields? No, we can't. Not yet. We would need to have a stockpile that we could store the waste in. Which we can always just use one of the ice stockpiles for the time being. Okay. Reboot the Protagoras' core systems, which is going to require us to dock, provide resources to Protagoras' crew, repair the superstructure. Okay, once this is built and we have 9 fields up, then we will disassemble this one and build that one. I don't mind that we're currently losing food. We have an oversupply of it at the moment. Helps if I turn that on. Things cannot build if the builder isn't actually working. Ah, no, that's what we can do. We can use supported working hours, but we need to get more crew in here first. We'd need an additional 25. Actually, no, we could do that now. Rather than use food, we have an overabundance of population, so... Just temporarily, I want to stop you from transferring over to there. Let it use other resources that are in here first, and then we'll worry about other things. And then once that's been taken down, we can pull the road down. Set that one back to food. Okay, iceberg. Probably about time you headed over there. We still have an overabundance of metal, which is fine. These guys are currently not particularly happy by the fact that there's more frozen crew members than there are currently actual crew members, because we are taking our time. Come on. Grab the last two. I suppose at the minute they're prioritising transferring from this. Turn it off, resume production. Just so if we see if we can try and grab the last bit of that. How long will our food last us? 5 meals. Damn it, that's... Oh no, I forgot about that. We're fine.
A science ship has arrived at its destination.
I did just fill this up. I need to set that to that, don't I? But we have to have that... Okay, we have to have that in effect first.
An accident has occurred in the Typhoon.
Where? Tech Lab in Sector 1, Steel Mill in Sector 3. We better check... Ooh, we better check both of those. That's okay. We maintain optimal conditions in both. We do not, however, have infirmary storage available for both. Because, you know, when there's an accident, 90% of the people who work there are going to get injured. That still remains silly to me. You're actually going to build those? You are now, okay, good. I'm not sure whether or not this... no, this can't be enough to cover it. We are going to have to bring this online, which is fine. These are 16 a pop. I think we can safely put this one here, and this one here, and then we're going to end up colliding with the thingy. Right. I want to then actually move the insect farms down here. Didn't want to remove all of them. It was mostly just a matter. I wanted to remove a bunch of them and then move a bunch down here. I mean, we can put these down here as well. We need to be mindful of our current level of crew, though. Okay, science ship has reached its destination. Re-establish internal infrastructure and food distribution. Repair the superstructure of the Protagoras. The Protagoras PAA has stipulated that once the station is returned to acceptable operation levels, a V-hole signature of the Ep17 will be transferred across to us. We must fly to the rescue of our Dolos colleagues. Administrator, we have arrived at the site and met with the crew of the Protagoras. We were welcomed like heroes. People crowded around us, reaching out and touching us as if they doubted our existence. Some of the older crew members looked on with skepticism. The crew are weak, tired and disoriented from cryo-sleep. They have been traumatized by the horrors they suffered at the hands of the Ep17 crew. They provide us with a complete diagnostic rundown of their structure. We can now allocate resources and begin repair. Re-establish internal infrastructure and food distribution. Which one is which? This is the one we want. You're retrieving crew members. We don't need you to be retrieving any more crew members at the moment. We should probably bring this online, but until this has been fully built and these have been rebuilt, there's probably not a point to do so. This thing can produce 40 water a cycle at max capacity. So until we're actually starting to use like 40 water a cycle, we don't need a second one. Once we've got this, then we can think about putting the fungal wall up. Infirmary has been disabled in Sector 4. Oops, I didn't tell it to pause building. Okay, we've moved around all the materials now anyway, so let's remember to put Sector 3 to send resources over there, medium priority. Is it powered off? Yes. It's not much use to us at the minute. Policy in another 2. Only requires 5 crew members. We have space for 10 more. Powered on and immediately there's an injury there. What did they do? Trip over walking through the door, all 4 of them? Why have you moved to extra hours? We don't need you online anymore. We only have 1 hospital running currently. You're running extra hours. Why? You weren't earlier. Okay. I'm assuming this still doesn't have civilian specialization. It has the most available housing currently. I wish I could see what housing types in here. Subtract 125. That'll make it... Okay, we can tell that to be constructed. We have all this iron, we may as well use it. Oh, that's still not finished yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to rearrange this in general and what I'm going to do with this area. Obviously, the primary purpose of this area is hull reconstruction. You have plenty enough crew that I can enable that. We're going to need this enabled for transport out anyway.
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
Okay. Recycle, yes. Store the garbage there. Okay, we're still losing food. We need to get this lot up online sooner rather than later. Shame I can't tell it high priority. Okay, that all has their materials, so let's turn that off, get those workers back. This needs 12 workers, so we need to find workers from somewhere else. Quite literally, we're going to need workers from another sector. Let's borrow 10 workers from Sector 1, Sector 2. Workers, 10, go. How many workers does each of these take? 5. And each field takes 1.5 water. So that's 15 water. Yeah, that's still less than this thing can produce, so we don't need to worry about that. Ship, why have you not been delivering this stuff? We have a ship assigned. Why is it not doing its job? Is it still trying to transfer crew?
Population transfer complete.
We need more workers in here, particularly with the fact we've increased. Or given them the working hours policy. Can I pause construction. Do we have enough food? We have enough food for the time being. Let's pause. I can't pause the construction of the additional things, in which case let's recover back from here. Okay, let's tell you that you can't send any more non-workers over to Sector 2. And then let's manually send over from, let's say, Sector 1 because it's nearby. Sector 1 to Sector 2. 2 non-workers. Okay, that's tight, but it's working. And then we can get 1, 2, 3 here. And we can get a 5-long building here.
Population transfer complete.
Okay. That's the problem. The cargo dock is full. It's jammed here because we can't put enough resources into here to be able to load it on. Because for whatever reason the ship can't sit in the cargo bay and be loaded directly. We are making plenty surplus. We are making a surplus of food now. Okay, good. We can introduce a recycling policy in here. We do have the waste treatment centre. It does fit nicely here. Or I should actually say here, so that we can actually put additional storage on its right. Pause. Let's put that there, but let's tell it not to build in a minute. We've almost got our next piece of research. Still not counted as a population. Even though it has so much room for people. Oh. Yes, you can unload those into there. And what we'll do is we'll turn this one off temporarily. There we go. That's finally going to start delivering stuff to the Protagoras. Let's have a look at food stores. That food store is full. That food store is full. I want Sector 2. I want you to give priority to Sector 4 at the minute. Because we're about to lose 100 food from over there. This is 12 crew for the equivalent of... I'm thinking about this, or I'm trying to think about this in terms of crew members per food per cycle. So when running, this is 1.1 every cycle, so we're talking about a crew member will produce 0.1 food per cycle. And this is 9 every 3 cycles, so 3 every 1 cycle, there's 12. This is more efficient in terms of crew per cycle. To which end, let's power that down and power that up. Yeah, this is more efficient still in terms of crew per cycle. And space. New technology, PA research management. We need the next one. On the way. Yep. Okay, good. That's finally happening. Mox resources outside looking like we are almost running out of ferrite. Ice isn't currently being harvested, but it is being mined. And you don't have a place to...
Administrator, you can implement a new policy.
I think I might change things over. This would take longer. I might go propaganda and bring this down until we actually have the additional crew here. This farm area is going to need a lot of crew members in it. I wish I could train non-workers into workers. Doesn't appear to be something that you're allowed to do, though. I will build that, actually. Which policy do we want to enact? Propaganda, working hours. I mean, the actual amount of crew, we're running it fine there. And in fact, if we get another thing in one of these, and that's 20 crew. Yeah, no, we can't do that, and we can't enable this yet without disabling that. So let's put... I think we might put intensive propaganda up. Might be worth us putting intensive propaganda up so then we can then start collecting the waste from all of this stuff and start making use of it. Yeah. Resume construction of that, power that down. I want this
An
to be...
accident has occurred in the tycoon.
There's Sector 3. Thankfully it's a stockpile. So yeah, let's go intensive propaganda. It's going to take 15 cycles? Yes. And then we'll enable waste collection, which will dump into probably this one here. We might put... I don't want to build extra storage until I have the storage upgrade because I don't know the size of the damn things. Seriously, devs, I'm going to complain about this until you put it in. Bear in mind that I record these 10 days in advance. But for the love of God, how big is that structure? I need to know so I can plan ahead of how to Tetris things. Requiring people to play multiple times to make sound decisions is bad design. They should have the information available to them. Workshop in Sector 1. I need that to be powered up in a minute. This only has one of them powered up in a minute. Okay. We are making an abundance of food, which is good. We've gone through all the ice in that one now. Wait, how'd that happen? Right, accidents. Accidents is how that happened. I was going to enable this, but it doesn't look like we can. Turn that off. I think I'm going to swap this over to intensive propaganda until we have... no, we're balancing it okay at the minute. We're still producing Other than the fact we just lost the farm. We're still producing more food than we need. We're producing more water than we need. We need bigger storage for ice, though. These are all going to be trying to get in the ferrite first. I should assign one of these to grab ice. Let's say you. Once you've got the hydrogen, get me the ice. How'd that happen? My ship can move at least 33 per tick. Did it bring over some food? Nope. Weird. Okay, let's speed things up. Okay, we'll start turning these back on when these are not giving us enough. Yeah, I think in the next system we are going to need something dedicated to collection of ice. Do I want to get the remainder of these buildings up? This one doesn't need as many workers, so I'm not so worried about that. I'm just thinking about balance of workers to non-workers. I think this one will have 250 workers in here. Maybe we'll have both of these aim to have 300 workers, because they do require a lot. But that would mean that we would need to send some of the non-workers back over to here. Okay, so the metal's gone over. We're waiting for the food to go over. That actually can't keep up with production. We are producing more waste than we're using. Increases the production speed, accelerated growth from crop farms, production speed by 15%. I mean, that might help. We also have the waste to water thing, which, if it's as effective as it implies, the amount of waste that's generated here, I'm not entirely... It depends on how quickly... Now let's bring the speed down while we have a look at this. So this turns 50 weight into 50 iron in 10 cycles, 50 to 20 in 10 cycles, 50 to 1 in 10 cycles. So it's always 10 cycles and it's always 50 waste.
You can implement a new policy.
Pause. Uses 50 waste per cycle to fulfill all water needs in a sector. It says all water needs, which implies it uses 50 yeah, that's... The water treatment center is basically just a waste dump. You throw all your waste into it, and in return, nothing in that sector will use water for that cycle. Okay, new policy can be set in Sector 3. Waste recycling. For the time being, I will use this one in the middle. We may move it later. We absolutely don't have the crew to turn this on at the minute. We've maxed out all of that, so there's no need to have that on. Waste. Okay, so if the waste from here... So keep 50% waste in each, just keep it balanced so that... Yeah, so that if waste stocks get too high in one, they start getting pushed to the other. Couple more food deliveries. Did they... They have properly restocked that. That food has mostly gone out. So let's go back to Sector 2 and reduce that. So every sector has equal priority on food. Turn that on. Turn that off. Food production is still in positive. The population is high enough that we can enable that. Give us additional extra food. Stockpile as much of it as we can because we have lowered the amount we have in storage. Okay, we can enable that. What's the betting that even now we have all of these houses, so this, and these.
An accident has occurred in the Tycoon.
Okay, we need to deal with that. That it's still not considered civilian. They're civilian buildings. They explicitly have civilian on them. Interesting. It looks like we got lucky. While it was one of the worst buildings to break down. Good. We did have the hospital space for the extra 23 crew members. Okay, and the ice is now getting moved over to here. That's all good. One more trip. Insect farm, 8 crew members, that could be a problem. Ah no, we're okay. Maybe we're okay until the farm comes back online? No, we're still okay. Okay, let's stop sending non-workers over to Sector 3. will... $15? I think we can probably stop stockpiling workers in here for now. Let's transfer over
Ship team has completed a task.
15 from Sector 4 to Sector 3 to bring this up to 115 non-workers. Okay, there's one extra, excuse me, one extra in there. How did you put one extra in there? I literally just told you to stop. You have one extra as well. Yeah. Stop putting non-workers in there. Stop putting workers in Sector 4. We are going to need more workers in Sector 4 eventually, but I want to build up those two first. I think Sector 1 can stop getting workers as well. Just for the time being, let's stop sending anything to Sector 1. The resources necessary for the well-being of the Protagoras' crew have been brought on board. As we were completing our task, an invitation was found that had been left for us. Some of the older members of the Protagoras wished to meet with us. Meet with the elders. Activating rootkit. There's something wrong with those crew members. Have they been turned into cyborgs or something? The crew of the iceberg meet with the elders.
Population transfer complete.
We've run out of ferrite to make more metals. Probably more accurately, the ferrite is a long way away. There's some over here, here. Mining ice over here, more ferrite. Yeah, that's the bigger problem. It's not that there isn't any ferrite, it's that the ferrite is all the way over there. Okay. That is the incorrect amount of
Population transfer complete.
non-workers that should be in here. I selected any crew, didn't I? I selected any crew. We need 11 non-workers from Sector 4 to Sector 3. That's not enough to re-enable one of these, but food production is fine. The next sector we bring up is probably going to have to be more food production, which is going to mean that we're going to need more ice production. Or we could get the water treatment plant and try and just fill that thing up with the waste of the human beings in the ship. It's an option. Okay, let's get this bit finished.
Transfer complete. A science ship team has completed a task.
Man is the measure of all things. The elders, as they call themselves, have told us their story. They are among some of the last members of the crew to remember Earth. Many of the Protagoras do not remember their past. The elders blame Dolos cryonic technology for this phenomenon. They testified to significant difference between the crew of the Protagoras and that of the Etamanaki. The crew of the Etamanaki was mainly composed of people who had lived on Earth almost all their lives. According to the elders, Volo technology is more than just space travel technology. They believe each Volo jump by a Dolos vessel generates cataclysms equivalent to that initially caused by the Tyquin. Thoughts, tycoons, techions, they say, are the root cause of this. And the fact that the UN's self-similar space travel technology does not utilize these particles means their ship do not leave behind such cataclysms. The discussion lasted some time. Jonathan decided to stay on the Protagoras with the elders. They do not want to follow the Tyquin's mission anymore. Those crew members didn't die. And this seems like you would always lose crew members for this thing. So if this counts towards the loss of science crews, the request we had for that, if it counts towards that, that means that it is impossible. It is flat out impossible to prevent the loss of crew members. So when you were given the option to not lose a single one, that's an impossible task, and the devs know it. So if we look at the next screen and it tells us we have lost 3 out of 5 crew members on our science ships, the devs are fucking idiots. Because this appears to be unavoidable. I couldn't select the other option, I had to do this. And this is a guaranteed loss of crew members. So we'll see. The Tyquin needs to be in orbit. So we do need to move the Tyquin over there. There we go, yeah. The devs are fucking morons. Here is a task you cannot possibly complete because we have guaranteed you will lose crew as part of the main story. Bullshit. It's a good job I didn't pick that option, but even still. I need to send you back. Am I allowed to? Not yet. Okay. So we'll pause it there on that, once again, annoying note, or annoyed at the devs notes. Because the next thing we need to do is move over there and start dealing with actually finishing repairing that. And I don't think there's anything else we need to do here. Not even wait for resources and things. We have maxed out our polymers storage. Carbon storage is probably... I think we probably have all of the carbon from the sector now. Yep, we have all of the carbon from the system. We've mined all the ferrite. We're just picking it up, which is just going to take a long time because it's a long way away. We're collecting the ice as well. There's only another 100 more crew members to bring on board, but we still have to wake up like 400 of them. Food situation is currently stable, and I think will remain stable. There's plenty of ice in the sector, so if we get desperate, we can just send tell another ship to go collect it for us. I think Sector 5 is going to be another farming sector. We can increase the production of those, but again, we want to get the tech lab up first. Yeah, that increases the speed by 10%. So that would also increase water reduction or water cost by 10%, which is fine. We could get another one of these up and running. These are 3 food per cycle each. And don't take any water. I wonder why... no, that doesn't make sense. All of those numbers are divisible by 3, so why is it 6 to 9 over 3 cycles rather than 2 to 3 over 1? That's a weird decision. It's not a bad decision, it's just a weird one. But anyway, everything appears to be stable. The devs are idiots for putting in a potential request that is impossible to complete. Literally impossible to complete. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again. This should be going out on Wednesday, so on Friday, we have another episode of this. We will move the Tyquin to the Protagoras, and we will try to bring it online. Otherwise, tomorrow we should have a stream of Everspace 2, I believe is the plan, if I know my dates correctly. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Cheerio.